Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. And we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So let's get straight into this topic here. So, as you guys know, Michael Jordan is widely regarded as the greatest player to ever play basketball. And whenever we hear Jordan talk about the game of basketball, he seems to be giving props to every era, which makes him different from a lot of these guys that we see talking about the sport. So, you know, some of those NBC segments of the interview, the longer interview that they did, Jordan was doing just that. I think the last one he did, we did some shows about it. People spoke about it, where we were talking about the GOAT conversation, for example, where Michael Jordan said there is no GOAT conversation, right? There's no such thing as a GOAT. And he just basically started giving props to every single era, which I think makes MJ who he is, and then makes everyone else who they are, right? The guy is just, you know, he's just a class act, right? Class act. So anyway, I was going through the internet here, just kind of looking for what to talk about, because yesterday we had done a bunch of shows and lives on, you know, the news and, you know, the games that were played, blah, 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 blah. And I came across an article here from Fadeaway saying, Michael Jordan reveals his trinity of the greatest guards in NBA history, then continues on. The Jerry West, the logo documentary, was released on Prime Video on April 16, and its director, Kenny Barris, appeared on the latest episode of the Winning Formula podcast. Michael Jordan was amongst those Barris interviewed for the documentary, and he revealed that Chicago Bulls icon has Jerry West in his trinity of guards. So what we want to do is want to play the video, what Kenya Barris had to say to the director, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show.
You know, it's crazy. The biggest thing, and it didn't get in the doc. Jordan was the big one for me, right? Because I grew up, I was a Bulls fan, you know what I'm saying? Just because I was a Jordan fan, so everybody my age was kind of a Bulls fan, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like when I got to interview him, I kind of fanned out. I fanned out, you know what I'm saying? Like I ran downstairs and got some Jordans because I didn't have one. They were like, you need to have Jordan. Like, in talking to him, he said something that didn't make the doc. He said, in his mind, if he were to look like how he sort of sees the NBA, like if there was a trinity, it would be Jerry, him, and Kobe. And when he said that, it pivoted everything for me because I saw immediately what he meant. He didn't have to say another word. I understood. They all had that sort of like just ice cold on the court, you know what I'm saying? Like literally like left it all out on the floor, you know, hated to lose, competitive beyond all belief, you know, and at the same time in life, that same focus is why they all were each able to sort of be successful, you know what I'm saying? Because it translated.
Excellent. So you heard that. And then it continues on. It says, like Jordan and Kobe Bryant, West had an obsession with winning. He was incredibly competitive and ridiculously clutch, earning the nickname Mr. Clutch. Unfortunately for West, he ran into those great Bill Russell-led Boston Celtics teams in the 1960s. The Celtics had one too many Hall of Famers amongst their ranks, and they beat West Los Angeles Lakers 6 times in the NBA Finals in the decade. He gave those great teams an almighty scare, though. West famously won the Finals MVP in 1969, despite the Celtics winning the series in 7 games. It wasn't undeserved either. He averaged 38 points per game in that series. West's misery wouldn't end with the Celtics out of the picture. He would lose in the finals on one occasion, on 2 more occasions to the New York Knicks in 1970 and 1973 as well. And then the article then goes on to say a few other things. What are my thoughts about this? Well, I don't think there's anything controversial about this. All right. Kobe Bryant is widely regarded as the second greatest 2-guard to ever play basketball. If you even listen to Michael Jordan speak of Kobe, he always spoke very highly of him. As a matter of fact, there's video out there of Michael Jordan kind of going through the gambit of players that he would like to play against. Carmelo, LeBron, I think he mentioned Kevin Durant, a whole bunch of players. And then when he got to Kobe Bryant, he was talking about all these players that he believed he could beat. He said the only person that could probably beat me was Kobe because he stole all of my moves, right? Like kind of taking like a cheeky shot at Kobe Bryant. And as you guys know, Kobe and MJ had a close relationship, and we later found that out at his memorial service, given how emotional Michael Jordan was up there talking about Kobe Bryant. But this doesn't really surprise me. I mean, if it's not those guys, who's it going to be in terms of Kobe Bryant, number 2, Jordan, number 1? Now, number 3 has been debated. Some people are saying Dwayne Wade should be the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time. Some people have Jerry West up there. Now, of course, you have some new people out there talking about James Harden should be ahead of D Wade. I think that's absolute fantasy basketball talk. I don't think there's any world I would rank James Harden as a better guard over Dwayne Wade. I wouldn't. You know why? Because the NBA season doesn't stop in the regular season. Maybe for James Harden fans it does, but not for the rest of us. The NBA season continues on in the playoffs as well. And D Wade made his name in the playoffs. And he was also, at one point, D Wade was like argued as probably the best player in the NBA. At one point, he was so good. Right? Like James Harden is a scoring machine, but D Wade wasn't traveling to score 30 a game, bro. It's a fact. D Wade wasn't putting up 12 threes a game. Like, I mean, it's a fact. Right? James Harden benefited from lax rules. He's a very talented scorer, no doubt about it. But there was some shenanigans to his scoring. It's a fact. There was a lot of like, dude used to, that crab dribble, and that's traveling. If they call that traveling like they're supposed to, I mean, how many more points would he not score? How many more turnovers? Like, so I'm not saying James Harden is not a great player, but I wouldn't rank him in terms of guards ahead of Dwayne Wade. I think the real argument that we're going to be having is it Jerry West or Dwayne Wade for the third spot? The top two spots are undisputed, right? The top two spots are undisputed. I think Kobe and Michael Jordan have set themselves apart from the pack by such a wide margin. There's nothing to talk about. There's absolutely nothing to talk about. Kobe Bryant and Jordan are excellent two guards, right? And they defended as well. You're talking about probably the two greatest two-way players ever. And I think Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player in NBA history. I don't even think there's a debate for that. If you have 10 scoring titles, 9 all-defensive teams, and a defensive player of the year, you're the best two-way player to ever play basketball. And if you listen to any NBA player, they'll tell you the hardest thing to do in the NBA is be a two-way player. Give it on the offensive side of the floor and then give it on the defensive side of the floor. The guy made 9 all-first defensive teams and won a defensive player of the year. Kobe Bryant made 12 all-defensive teams and led a decade in scoring. A decade in scoring. So I think it's Kobe and Jordan, and then it's everybody else. That's just me, though. But I think Michael Jordan shares the same sentiment, right? MJ, for as great as he was, he also understood Kobe was great. And I think he understood Kobe Bryant was just as much as a fanatic for winning and competition as he was. Kobe Bryant, I think, as a young guy, walked up to Kobe Bryant and said, Michael Jordan said, put on your shoes. I bet you I could beat you one more. Like, kick your ass. Like, come on. Like, that's... So I think Jordan saw a lot of himself in Kobe. But beyond the fact that they share similar personality traits in terms of on the court, they both put in that work. Right? And I don't think... That's why even when they brought up the GOAT conversation, you heard him mention Kobe Bryant. Now, people in the media wouldn't like to mention that because you got a lot of dweebs crunching numbers and they're coming up. They're just picking numbers that they feel are important. And then they tell you that this is it. Like, bro, the same Bleacher Report that ranked Kobe Bryant outside of the top 10 is the same Bleacher Report that ranked LeBron James as a better scorer, or rather Joel Embiid as the 4th greatest scorer of all time. That's a Bleacher Report for you. And as you can see, nobody cares about their opinions because it didn't matter. When Michael Jordan was coming up with his ranking, he certainly didn't use their metric system.